Welcome to the WB Mason Coaches Report. I'm joined today by Hofstra softball head coach Larissa. Thanks for joining me, Coach.
All right.
Since we last spoke, the Pride took a 5-2 win over Stony Brook and then was swept by James Madison in a CAA series this weekend. Let's start with the Stony Brook game, Coach. Down 2-1 late in the game, come back to win 5-2. What did you see from the resilience of your team in that game?
That we're never out of a ball game. I mean, we have the ability to be able to hit the long ball. So when your team at any time with one swing can be able to score runs, you know you're never out of a ball game, and we were able to show that against Stony Brook.
JMU series, all three games were very close. Last game took 10 innings to decide. Both teams went in with very strong team ERAs, and the series was surprisingly high scoring. What does that say about the matchup between the two teams this weekend?
Unbelievable series. I mean, between both teams, very, very strong and match up very well. I was surprised, and I even talked to their coach at one of the home plate meetings, saying, "Who would have thought that we would have scored as many runs?" I was expecting 2-1, 1-0,
Yep.
you know, something like that, with very, very few hits, and both sides hit the ball very, very well. And I think it just shows you the level of play and the level that the athletes are at, and that they're very, very strong on both sides, and that at any time anybody can score a lot of runs. I think nerves came into play for both sides. You know, it is a big series. It was an unbelievable atmosphere, and they came out on top.
One of the positives to take away from this weekend, the team actually set the Hofstra single season record with 59 home runs, now with still games left to play. What does that say about how the team has been hitting this season?
You know, they have so much potential, and they're so strong, and they've worked very, very hard in the off season. They worked very hard in the weight room, and it's really paying off for them. Mentally, that they understand what they're capable of doing and not trying to do too much, and you know, being able to hit quality pitches, and it's great. It's great to break records, but I think that the record that they would want to break would be, you know, wins and going into the conference championship out on top. But you know, it's great. It's just shows you the depth within the program, that the programs continue to grow.
What have you been focusing on in practice this week to try to turn the page and focus on Towson for this weekend?
You know, they needed the off day. It's a long trip, and so Monday was their recovery, mentally get themselves back ready to focus. Yesterday we just talked about what we learned from that experience, and then it's a little wake-up call, because when you're winning, and sometimes winning seems like it's coming very easy, and they're not working very hard at it, then sometimes you just take it a little for granted. So it was a good wake-up call for us, that we have to understand what we need to do in order to be successful. And yesterday we got back to work and mentally being strong, and, you know, working on our fundamentals always, because we never want to lose a game because of defense. So we continually work on what we're strong at. Our pitchers got some individual work, and being able to throw where batters are different parts of the batter's box, which is what they need to be efficient at. And then our hitters continually worked on both sides of the plate.
Heading down to Towson this weekend, this is a team that's had a good season as well, also coming off a weekend series that didn't quite go their way. What's it going to take to come away with some victories against Towson this weekend?
They're a very confident team. I mean, they have a lot of experience in their lineup and a strong pitching staff. So we're going to have to play well. You know, Towson would like nothing better than to beat Hofstra. So we got to make sure that we get back on track. It's really going to start with our pitchers on the mound and in controlling the game. And we want them to be able to control the at-bat and not let the batter control the at-bat. So really it's going to start with them. And then our hitters have to understand what is the pitcher throwing, what is a ball on a strike, and make sure that we're not chasing the ball out of the zone.
Pride heads down to Towson for a 3-game CAA series this weekend, starting with a doubleheader at noon on Friday to close the regular season. This has been the WB Mason Coaches Report with Hofstra softball head coach Larissa. Thanks again for joining me, Coach.
My pleasure.